Hello everyone, this is Nintendo Update, and this is a video that I've been wanting to upload for an eternity, that I just never got around to doing it. So I'm sure some of you thought this video just kind of fell away and it never really was going to happen. Well, nope, you were wrong. I'm doing this video right now because I'm waiting for my Wii U component cable to arrive because I need ports for the PlayStation TV to plug into, and of course, the PlayStation TV. So while I'm waiting on that, I need something to do, and I'm going to talk about this. First things first, kind of just before we start about my Xbox, PlayStation, all that different stuff. Last night, there was 3 trolls that decided to come to my videos, and yeah, you can guess how that went. I removed all the comments, so don't even bother looking for them, because I'm trying to reinforce positivity. But I'm just going to say there were, well, mainly 2 trolls. And one of them was just kind of voicing their opinion, but still kind of sounded like they were hating at the same time. Well, I just say that I know one of them in real life, so no surprise there. And then 2 of them were just random people on the internet that wanted to hate. But I find it strange that all 3 of them decided to comment something at like the same time, so I wonder if that's connected. Maybe they're all friends or something. I doubt it, but point is, yeah, 3 trolls decided to attack me on the comment section, and of course replying nicely to them did nothing. I don't know why I tried that, but whatever. The point is, I deleted all the troll comments on all the videos. Some of them were commenting on videos from like 4 months ago, and I'm like, why? It's a 4-month-old video. Like, if it was just like a 4-month-old video that was about like Yokai Watch or whatever, that's one thing, but why respond to a 4-month-old video about an update? Why respond to a 4-month-old update video? I don't get that logic, but trolls be trolling, can't really do anything about it. But enough about trolls. I mean, come on, it's the internet. You're gonna get trolls at some point. And apparently they finally come to me, and I've blocked them from commenting, and I removed their comments, so you know, they're gone. Let's concentrate on the main topic. Review of 2015, yeah, sorry about the wait, but I did genuinely want to do this. I just was too lazy to do it, but after making that last video yesterday, now I kind of want to do it. So, let's talk about the review of 2015. I believe in all my little ads I put at the end of my videos, I said, back when I still called the series Nintendo Update Radio, which is now called the Nin-Cast, which I guess is going to be a little different than the old videos, but it's basically the same format, just with a different background. But anyways, yeah, let's talk about Xbox first. I think, well, I have an Xbox One, so that's one benefit out of all this, but I think Xbox did pretty well. The only thing that they really lost was, of course, the Call of Duty contract, which people could debate all day over whether that really means anything, but at the end of the day, it affects the gaming community, so I kind of count it. And I'm going to get a PlayStation 4. That's going to be one of the reasons I'm going to get a PlayStation 4. But I'm going to make a top 5 reasons I want a PS4 video sometime later anyway, so I'll save it for then. But I think Microsoft had some good stuff there. They show off HoloLens, they released of course, Windows 10 came out this year, DirectX 12 came out. It hasn't really been utilized yet, but they're starting to utilize it with like the Division and stuff. In games like that run it basically 1080p on the Xbox One with very small fluctuations in resolution. So, and of course they have last year was basically their first full year of owning Minecraft, which they used pretty well. They used it to show off HoloLens, and HoloLens, by the way, that looks really cool. I know HoloLens is going to be expensive, and there's probably not going to be that much stuff for it, but I thought HoloLens actually looked pretty cool. And that like E3 demo they had where they had like the Minecraft world, and like it was like, that was a really cool demo. I'm serious, that looked really cool. I mean, it's Minecraft, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. That demo did look pretty neat. Anyways, they also had like, now the only real disappointment I can think of, aside from the fact they lost the Call of Duty contract, is the fact that there was no Banjo 3. We got Rare Replay, which is awesome. We're getting Sea of Thieves, that's awesome. But we don't have any Banjo 3 or any new Conquer game. Although there was recently a trademark filed for a new Conquer game on the Windows 10 store, so that might be in the works, but we don't really know yet. But I guess we'll have to find out. And I'm assuming if it comes to Windows 10, it'll come to the Xbox One as well. I mean, why wouldn't it? And I don't have Rare Replay yet, but I do want to get it, just for Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. But of course, it also has Conker's Bad Fur Day, Killer Instinct, Jet Force Gemini, and some of the old ZX Spectrum, and even like Battletoads is on that thing. Oh my god. I've never played Battletoads, but if everyone else says about it is any indication, like the AVGN and all those other people on YouTube from back in the day, I don't know what to expect. But that's the game where I know for a fact I don't want 2 players. I'm sure if you played Battletoads, you know having 2 players is basically committing suicide. So yeah. But overall, Microsoft's E3 was actually pretty decent. We weren't perfect. I'm not saying they were perfect. No company is perfect. But I think they overall did pretty decent. And they have the Elite controller, which I would like to get, but spending $150 on a controller, and people are going to be like, well, you can buy a SCUF controller. Exactly. The whole point of the Elite controller was basically to have an official SCUF controller that was official and didn't cost as much, because it doesn't cost as much as like a high-end SCUF controller, which is like, you can go up to $200, I believe. But you know, overall, what am I gonna give Microsoft? I'm gonna give Microsoft a 8 out of 10 because they lose 1 point for losing the Call of Duty contract, and they lose another point for not having a new Banjo game. But 8 out of 10 is still pretty decent. And of course Halo 5 came out, Gears of War 4 got announced, all that other stuff. There's a lot of stuff at E3 and that they did this year as well. Even stuff at Gamescom was pretty interesting to a degree. And now, so yeah, 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good score for them. That's definitely a good score. Now, PlayStation, without question, this is kind of obvious, but they won this year. They've won this year, no questions asked. I mean, after that E3 press conference, whether you cared about the games or not, you have to admit it was like the most hyped thing on the planet. Here's what the most hyped things on the planet are: Smash Bros. Announcements, Nintendo Directs, and E3 press conferences. And Sony blew it away this time around. I mean, really. Oh yeah, and that reminds me, for Microsoft, they had the backwards compatibility thing, which is awesome. I forgot to mention that, but I'm sure you already knew about that, but yeah. Anyways, back to Sony. So, of course they had, I mean, at the beginning of the year, they had Bloodborne and stuff like that, and then Until Dawn later. But the main thing that like really rose Sony to be like the best of the year was, of course, their infamous E3 press conference where they showed off 3 long-awaited games: The Last Guardian, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3. Only one of those is exclusive to the platform, but I mean, I think that The Last Guardian was definitely hype, but it looks like the same game that was when it was first announced back in 2009, just with the graphical overlay. But considering how much people like the Shadow of the Colossus, and that's made by the same development team, and Eco, which is also from the same development team, I'm sure that it'll be a pretty good game. When I get the PS4, will I buy the game? Probably not, but I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for it to see if it's any good. And then the thing that got me the most hyped, which of course was and I'm going to... Square Enix released a groundbreaking title that would become one of the most beloved games in PlayStation and video game history. Then they had like the live stream in the background and stuff like that, and then you saw people like Maximilian and people over the internet freaking out. And then there was this one guy that was playing Final Fantasy VII speedrun when the announcement came up. I can't remember the video, but if I find the video, I'll put a link in the description to it. He was doing a speedrun of Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1 right when the remake got announced. And then he had a really cool he had a pretty neat reaction, at least in my opinion. Not like Etika level reactions, but still pretty good, especially because he was playing Final Fantasy VII at the same time the remake was announced. But, anyways, yeah, the remake, long ago. I can't remember the text. I've heard that trailer so many times. Long ago, we looked upon a foreboding sky. The memories that threaten all may vanish in our hearts. I think that's what it says, but you know what I'm talking about. In its wake came an age of silence. When I watched that trailer, I was like, yes, yes, yes. I have not played a single Final Fantasy game before, but I knew if I played any of them first, it would be that game, which I'm going to be playing on my PlayStation TV in 480p. It's not because the PS4 version is 1080p, like the PS4 original version, like the port that came out that got delayed. That port is 1080p, whereas the PlayStation TV version is like the original 240p garbage resolution. But if it means I get to play a good game, I'll put up with it. And I might make a video on it, but since I don't have any capture card, and people have been saying I'm a noob for not having a capture card, and I'm like, do I have $160 to buy an Elgato HD 60 and a good computer? No, so how am I going to do that? I'm not going to subject you to camcorder Let's Play, so yeah. But the point is, that Final Fantasy VII Remake got me hyped. And what's funny is it was leaked the day before, along with our next one, Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3 was basically a game I don't think anyone thought would ever happen. Yu Suzuki said he wanted to make it, and he said Sega wasn't the problem, because like Sega sold him the rights, or licensed him the rights, or whatever. Why can't we do that nowadays? I don't get that. Like, Sega can license out the... So then, here's what I think they should do. If Sega can license out their own franchise so the creator that's no longer working at the company can work on it, I got an idea. Hey Capcom, why don't you license out Mega Man to Concept so Inafune can finish Legends 3? And all those, make new Mega Man games. You guys don't have to make it, Inafune can make it, and you'll still get money for it. Just do what Sega did with Shenmue. I don't get why people haven't thought of that. I'm sure someone's thought of that at some point, but I mean, seriously. Why isn't Capcom did what Sega did for Shenmue? But, you know, whatever. That's their decision, because we all know Capcom isn't doing that well, especially not Konami. Don't get me started on Konami. You know, Kojima left, pachinko machines, all that stuff, but moving on. Shenmue 3. I knew about Shenmue from some Screw Attack top 10s. Fun fact, I actually only watch Screw Attack for the top 10 videos. Most people watch them for the Death Battle videos. I don't care about Death Battle. I found them and continue to watch them for their top 10s. Back in like 2007, I started watching their top 10s, and I've watched them ever since. But moving on. Shenmue 3. I knew it was hype, but it was never something that really got to me. It was just kind of like, you know, another one. Why did I even say that? But, you know, it was another big announcement. It didn't personally affect me, but it was huge. The Kickstarter blew off the room, like exploded, like Yooka-Laylee, My Number 9, and other projects. I mean, it's Shenmue 3. You can't really deny it. It's coming out for PS4 and PC. The Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out first on PS4, so it'll probably come to Xbox One and PC later. And then, of course, The Last Guardian is made by Sony, so PS4 exclusive. But without question, those three announcements by themselves within the span of an hour and a half of one day, basically, like, don't count anything else that they did this year. They won this year in terms of announcements and hype. They won. Not to mention the fact that I believe at the end of this, that they've sold 36.1 million units so far with the PS4, which is actually pretty good. Like, they've been selling them, like, by the end of this year, they'll probably have more sales than they'll probably have overtook the 3DS as the most selling console of the generation. Yeah, the 3DS, I believe, has sold 50.1 million units or something like that, and the PlayStation 4 is almost at 40 million, so PlayStation 4 is catching up. Xbox One, I believe, is at 20 million units, and of course the Wii U is, I believe, at 13 million units now. It's an improvement from 10 million, but at this point, you can't really save the thing. It really is unfortunate, but at this point, the NX could just come out, because I'm going to buy it day one anyway, because it's a new Nintendo console, and I have to have it day one. Even if I can't play any games, although I'm sure they're going to have a bundle that includes Zelda NX or something like that, or Smash Bros. 3000% Edition. Oh, remember that leak I covered from a while ago? Oh man, that leak. They weren't even trying. They were just asking to be disproven. But once again, it's the internet, and the internet likes making leaks because it makes sense to me. I think I just messed up right there, but continuing on. PlayStation gets a 9 out of 10, and the only reason they're not getting a perfect 10 is because Tokyo... Actually, I'm going to give them like a 10 out of 10. Because even though they weren't necessarily perfect in terms of announcements and hype, they basically get a 10 out of 10. They also revealed more. They remember that file, and then of course the PlayStation Experience. They revealed Ni no Kuni, which is a game I'm hyped for. More Uncharted footage and more Final Fantasy VII footage, among other things. So overall, Xbox is an 8 out of 10. PlayStation gets a 10 out of 10. I already covered Nintendo in a previous video like 2 months ago. I don't know if I gave them a rating or not. I think I said that they did well, but because of Iwata dying and the NX being announced and the Wii U is basically dying, they didn't really get. I believe Nintendo actually got the lowest score. I think I gave them like a 6 or a 7. Like they had good games. Nintendo had great games, but the Wii U is dying. The NX got announced, and Iwata died. So that's enough for me to give him a 7 out of 10. I don't know what rating I gave him. I'll look back to that video and see what rating I gave him, if I gave him a rating at all. But the point is, Nintendo is in third, Xbox is in second, and PlayStation is in first. Which isn't really that surprising, honestly, especially for last year, but, you know. Now let's talk about other things. Steam. I have not played Steam all that much. I've played some Team Fortress 2 and Terraria here and there on Steam, but because my computer's complete garbage, I can't even play TF2 at decent frame rates sometimes. But, Steam, that was this year, right? That was this year. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna knock them off a point because I believe it was last year. Yeah, in 2015, when they tried to do the paid mod thing, I'm gonna knock them off a point for trying that. I know this is kind of stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway. -1 point for not announcing Half-Life 3. Oh wow! People are gonna flame me for saying that, but aside from that, Steam did pretty well. I believe there was that hacking thing at the very end. But aside from that, and not announcing Half-Life 3 and doing the paid mod thing, I think Steam did pretty well. So I'm going to give Steam an 8 out of 10, which means that Steam is tied with Xbox, PlayStation is first, and Nintendo is last. Obviously, I'm just doing these scores as kind of a average type thing. I think all three of them did. I think all the companies did well, but some companies just simply did better than others. No company did necessarily bad. Even Nintendo wasn't that bad. They had Splatoon and Mario Maker and stuff like that. And if Zelda Wii U and Star Fox came out this year, as originally planned, I'm sure it would have been maybe even bigger than last year, maybe even bigger than the Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Year of 2014. But it didn't happen, so they got a 8. So they got a 7. I'm gonna give them a 7.5 because they had good games, but PR decisions just kind of ruined it, and Iwata dying is like 2 points right there. But that's not really a fault of Nintendo. I'm not blaming Nintendo for Iwata's death, because obviously they had nothing to do with it, but because Iwata was such an integral part of Nintendo, I had to knock Nintendo off a point for doing that. But yeah, so yeah, that's the score so far. And what else is there? Mobile. I've not really caught up with mobile. I haven't even caught up with Apple. Surprisingly, I didn't get an iPhone 6s last year. Which is weird, because iPhones normally have this huge hype behind them, and this year just didn't really happen. Don't get me wrong, there was hype, but there wasn't that much, and I think I know why. I think it's because the newest iPhone was a S model, and the S models never get the kind of hype that the regular ones do. Like the 4s, the 5s, and the 6s, and soon to be the 7, those get the big hype, but the S models are just kind of incremental performance upgrades. That's basically all they really are. And my iPhone 6 has actually been doing pretty well. The only thing on the 6S I really want is the 4K camera. But you can only record in 4K at 30 FPS, which I'm not doing. Granted, Movie Maker has a max of 1080p 30 anyway, so I might as well just record in 4K and downsample it, and then it'll be like an upgraded 1080p kind of. It'll look better than native 1080p at least. But, you know, until I get a 6S, I can't really do that. Although I'm probably just going to wait for the iPhone 7 where it's going to have 4K 60 FPS support. So I'll just wait for that. But overall, mobile, There was Fallout Shelter this year. That was a pretty cool thing. But aside from Fallout Shelter, I can't really think of anything super big that happened. Oh yeah, Activision bought Candy Crush, the company behind Candy Crush, and that's all I can really think of. I haven't really kept up on mobile. So, I don't know. They get whatever score. I don't really know. They don't really get a score, they just kind of were there. And yeah, that's basically all the other technological things I can think of. Nothing really on computers, just, the usual or new graphics cards or whatever. So yeah, final score, Nintendo 7.5, Xbox 8, Steam 8, PlayStation gets a 10, and mobile gets a, I don't know, 7 or 8, I don't really know. They did okay. They don't really get a score. But overall, I think Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, and Steam all did pretty well. Nintendo did without question the worst, but they still did pretty well. Splatoon sold 4 million copies, I believe, last time I checked Nintendo's official charts on their website. Okay, no, there's no way they sold 4 million. It was like 2.4 million last time I checked, and then all of a sudden it says 4 million copies, and I'm like, they sell like 2 million copies in like a week? Whatever. The point is Splatoon and Mario Maker did pretty well. Even Kineshima said that he wants more Wii U games like that. But at this point, you should say NX games, because as we all know, the Wii U is basically dying. I mean, it's literally dying. The console, I think, is good. It has good games on it. It's not for everyone, especially at this point. But okay. You know how I said I was going to do a revision video? I'm going to just do it right here, right now. Don't buy the Wii U. Unless you can get it for a really good price, like $200, don't buy it. Just wait for the NX. We're so close to its being announced, you should just wait. And unless you really need Smash Bros. And really need Splatoon, or really need Xenoblade right now, just wait. I think that's a better investment for you and me. But with that being said, I guess that's really it. Overall, all the companies did pretty well. Some more than others, obviously. But in terms of hype, PlayStation wins. In terms of features, in my opinion, I think Xbox wins. And in terms of exclusives, I think Nintendo wins. But, every company has their flaws and every company has their pros and cons. I like all three of them. I have a Wii U, I have an Xbox One, and I'm going to get a PlayStation TV today. And by the way, expect to see that unboxing very soon. And I'm also going to get a PS4 sometime this year as well. So, I like all the companies. I've seen some people that are quick to point out how I'm supposedly a fanboy, and I'm like, if I have more than one console, I'm clearly not a fanboy. If I point out that Nintendo has flaws, then clearly that means I'm not a fanboy. There's a difference between a fan and a fanboy. A fanboy is someone that blindly defends a corporation or a piece of plastic, as Black Bond would say it, or whatever. Whoever that guy that said that was. And you just defend him and give him a 10 out of 10 for everything. No. Nintendo did not do everything well. There's a lot of stuff they did wrong. I think announcing the NX was a bad idea, because that basically killed the Wii U. And of course, that abysmal E3 press conference. I tried giving it the benefit of the doubt, but now that I really think about it, the only thing that was really good in there was Star Fox and Yokai Watch, and that was literally about it. Everything else in that press conference was not really that exciting. It was all 3DS games. No one really cared about those. No one cares about Skylanders. No one really cared all that much about the Super Mario Maker history thingy. It's cool that they showed documents and stuff, but we wanted game announcements, not 15 minutes of you talking about history of Mario. But, can't really do anything about that. But hopefully, this year will be great for all the companies. The Last Guardian's coming out this year for Sony. There's going to be some... DirectX 12 is going to be utilized this year for the Xbox One. And of course, Nintendo's going to have the biggest year of all three of the companies because of, well, the NX is on the horizon. And the console launch is always the biggest launch. And I guarantee you, it'll be way more hype than the Wii U's launch was. Because with the Wii U, it was more of a stopgap. I mean, I like the Wii U, but I'm not going to lie. The launch wasn't that exciting. Okay, it was for me because I didn't really care about Xbox at that point, but, Hopefully this year will be a good year for Nintendo and a leap behind the bad year they had last time. Hopefully that like I said, they had good games last year, but in terms of financials and hype, there wasn't really that much except for Smash Bros. So, yeah. Hopefully all the companies do well, and I hope to have all the consoles by the end of the year. Nintendo NX, Xbox One, and PS4 will be sitting right above my TV by the end of the year. And with that being said, I will see you later. This is Nintendo Act 8, signing out.